Hi there, so today we're going to be looking at the Macbeths relationship. So just like normal, I'm going to go through my 4 key points I would say in relation to the Macbeths relationship, and for all my analysis I've colour coded it so you can see where it matches the mark scheme. So how does Shakespeare present the Macbeths relationship? Shakespeare is showing how the power and the beauty of an equal relationship with mutual trust and appreciation can lead to success. Particularly, the Macbeths relationship at the start is one that is bringing them glory and happiness. But he also shows how power can corrupt an individual, including their relationship. As the couple increase in their power, it corrupts who they are, it corrupts what made them special for each other, and therefore it ruins their relationship. He also shows that a sacrifice for your partner, I'm talking on the part of Lady Macbeth here, can cost you all the elements that drove your relationship with your partner. So, the 4 points I would make about the Macbeth relationship start off at the beginning. I would have the fact they regard each other as equals at the start, for he refers to her as his dearest partner of greatness. I would then talk about how she's using this position of strength to manipulate Macbeth into greatness. This shows the untraditional balance in their relationship, for as in a Jacobean marriage, the man should be the one who's in charge and the woman should be subordinate and inferior to him. And this is shown through the fact she says, "My hands are of your colour, but ashamed to wear a heart so white." I'll then talk about how as the play progresses and Macbeth achieves his goal, that she slips in relevance to him and he starts referring to as dearest Chuck and tells her to be innocent of the knowledge of his plans and his schemes. Finally, at the end, when Lady Macbeth dies, Macbeth then pities her demise and her death and realises how futile his life has become without her, shown through Out Brief Candle. So let's start at the start. Seems like a sensible place to start. Macbeth refers to his wife as my dearest partner of greatness, so he regards her as his equal, suggesting the mutual power that has led them to glory because they think they've achieved greatness together, and his faith and dependence in her is reflected through his letter, for he goes and writes a letter to her as soon as he hears that he's going to become king from the witches. Now this clashes with Jacobean expectations of love and Macbeth's public image of masculine strength and power. On the battlefield and to the king and to the captain and the people around him, he seems to be this highly respected, highly valued, strong, masculine man. But this is not reflected at home. When he goes home, he's not got that same strength, he's not got that same control or power. She is the one who's in control of him. That doesn't match what should be happening in a Jacobean household. Now the adjective here, dearest, is that Macbeth is not concerned by this. He's got a loving relationship with his wife. He sees her as very dear to him. This is not a marriage for power or reputational enhancement, because they genuinely care each other, and their motives, even though how questionable their actions and their choices are, the motives for them are love for each other and a desire to make each other happy. So Lady Macbeth uses this position of strength and power that she has, unlike other Jacobean women, to influence her husband to help him become a better, more successful man. So she says, "My hands are of your colour, but ashamed to wear a heart so white," when he returns back from killing Duncan and he's having a wobbly and he's going into one because he's not happy with what he's done. So she's using her adopted strength to manipulate Macbeth into greatness. Jacobean women should not be associating themselves with violence and death, that's the masculine role, but she chooses to get involved in that in order to support her husband to be better and more successful. Now, the adjective white here connotes purity, so Lady Macbeth sees this as a weakness, whilst others have praised and promoted him for his decency. But it also shows the negative impact of this relationship on Macbeth's credibility and character. She's using the marriage here and her control over him to distort him and take him away from that man of reputable tolerance, that man that people used to admire and respect. This is quite ironic because she's destroying his respect, his dignity and his character, but she's doing it in order to help and support him achieve his ambition. So then I'll go into paragraph 3. Now this shows how she's declining in her importance to him. For now, when after he's achieved the kingship and after he's decided to kill Banquo, he says, "Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck." So power has corrupted Macbeth now. He no longer values her input in decisions, which is the opposite to the start of the play. And he's now starting to make decisions like murdering Banquo alone, and they start seeking support from the witches after the ghost of Banquo scene, rather than turn to his wife, the person who he used to rely on at the start. Now this reference to her innocence alludes to a vain attempt to limit her as Jacobean woman again, but the damage is already done. She can't return back to being that innocent flower that she was at the start, because now she's been corrupted to something more violent and something far more damaged. Now, the adjective and the noun dearest Chuck here is patronising in his treatment of her. So it's a huge step down from the opening greeting of dearest partner and greatness. Now he's almost mocking her importance to him. Now, this is quite ironic because Lady Macbeth is still hugely significant to him, particularly in the Goes to Banquo scene, which happens after this quote here. She's protecting him in this scene. She tells the Thanes when to leave. She starts making excuses for him, and in private she starts questioning him, are you a man, in order to try and push him back into the straight and narrow and to uphold his reputation in public. Now, this shows that she still has a far greater, far more important role to him than he actually realises. Now, my last paragraph would be this one, out, brief candle. So this is when Lady Macbeth dies, and Macbeth then realises the futility of life without her. This implies a regret and a shame of what he has done to his relationship and his wife. Now, I'd look at the symbol of the candle here. This reflects the candle she's holding in Act 5, Scene 1. So despite their distance at this point, the fact they've drifted apart, they're still together and like-minded because they're still using the same symbol to show they're meant to be together. Now, this candle symbolise her life and their relationship. This candle is a guiding light. It gives us warmth, it gives us security, just like the relationship gave to him. Now it's gone, and he is lost without her, and he is lost without that guidance, without that warmth, without that security. Now, candles are only small and vulnerable to the elements, reflecting how fragile and precious their marriage was, and it should have been treated with more respect and care than what it actually was. Now, Shakespeare here is showing how this untraditional equal relationship allowed for success and respect, but in restoring the traditional balance of power in a relationship, the whole thing has become weak and meaningless. So I think this is a hope for love. This is a hope for a time where we can all be equal, that we can treat men and women as they're meant to be, equal to each other, and if we do that, greater things can happen for our society and for ourselves.